Hi, everyone. This is Alexandra from Hear Me Roar, and welcome to day 5 of Cacao Talk. So, as usual, let's begin with the sip of cacao. Mine's still a little hot, but it's good. Today, I decided to keep my cacao a little simple, and I just added some date syrup into it and just the chocolate, and it's really delicious. Okay, so for today's topic, was inspired by a conversation yesterday, and it's how, I guess I want to call it some steps of how to embrace your empath or intuitive skills or abilities, right? Now, to start off with, I am a believer that all of us have an intuitive, psychic, or empath abilities, right? There's different types, there's different names for the different styles, and really what that just means is we all have the ability to tap into this energy and vibration. It just is all based on how sensitive we are allowing ourselves to resonate with those vibrations. And then some of us, just like some of us are really good at certain sports or certain instruments, I personally believe it's in the same way with these abilities. It's just some of us have just a more of an innate resonance with that vibration. So again, we all have this. It just all depends to what degree our uniqueness is resonating with those vibrations, right? So just wanted to start off with that. So the main question that came up yesterday, which is one of the two things I hear a lot from family, friends, and clients, is how can I be an empath? Or like one of the struggles I have is like they always feel depleted. You know, how can I do this or work with others or be around my family and friends and feel like my energy is not being drained, right? Or that I have enough energy because I want to be a practitioner or I want to show up with these natural abilities in my relationships. How do I do that without using all my energy up and feeling depleted? The other question that I hear a lot is, oh my God, I went blank on it. Probably because I meant to just concentrate on this one, although I really thought I was going to share the other one as well. Yes, I feel depleted. Came in. The second one I hear all the time is, how do I not take on other people's energy? And now that I think about it, I can't remember if one or the other was asked first last night, but both of these were asked last night. Anyways, get back on track. So I thought the best thing to do was to share just what I've learned in the last 10 years as far as how do we address those two things. For those of us who just tend to be naturally a little bit more sensitive and to our empath and psychic abilities, how do we not use up all of our energy? And then how do we not take on other people's energies and problems and so forth, right? So the number one thing that I would suggest is to study a modality, and this can be either for personal purposes, or if you want to be a practitioner and work with people. Practice a modality that really teaches you tools of how to feel very grounded. I like to say grounded into Mother Earth and connected and open channel to Father Sky or Creator, unconditional love, Source, God, whatever word resonates with you, right? So years ago, when I first started this journey, it was for personal reasons. You know, I just kept having an illness that just kept reoccurring, and the doctors were literally, we don't know what's wrong with you. And for many years, I was told that nothing was wrong with me, and then finally they acknowledged that something was wrong, but they didn't know what it was, right? So I started on this path just to understand. It was for personal reasons. And then I started realizing energetically what was causing this physical ailment. That's when I wanted to learn, okay, well, how can I further understand the sensitivities that I have, right? This connection to the energy around me. How can I, at first it was manage it. How can I create with it? How can I manifest with it? And so forth, right? So that would be my number one suggestion, is studying a modality that really teaches you like a process of how to ground yourself and then how to connect to source energy, right? And I personally studied theta healing. I use it as the basis for all of my work. I right now focus more on like shamanic work, tantric work, plant ceremonies, cacao ceremonies. Like that's more like, I don't want to call it the niche, but that's more right now the energies I'm playing with. But at the base of that is the grounding and connecting techniques that I learned from a specific modality called theta healing. And there's other modalities out there that can teach you that. Now, why is that important? So when we are connected to both of those energies, we step into the idea that at the end of the day, we are not, if you're a practitioner, we are not the healer. Like I'm not a healer. There isn't a better term for, like out there for what I do, which is energy healer, right? So I call myself an energy healer, intuitive life coach, tantric, shamanic practitioner. But energy healer, there really isn't another word right now that exists, that I can best, for people to understand what I do. But at the end of the day, I am not the healer. What I am is that I am a conduit. I am a vessel for healing creator and Mother Earth energy to come through me. I just happen to be a soul in this body that has enough of a resonance and enough of a sensitivity to the energy around us that I can create space. I can be a container for this healing energy to come into me and through me. It is not coming from me, right? And so that's like the second point that I think is good to perceive is that if you're wanting to work with clients, or if you're wanting to just do this for family or friends, or even yourself, if you want to do healings on yourself, which you totally can, you have to change your perception from you're the one who has to use your energy, or that you are the healer, and pivot that perception. There I go with the pivoting perception, but pivot the perception that it's not that you are meant to use your energy. It is that you have the ability to be the conduit or the vessel for the healing energy to come through you, right? So that's why I feel it's so important to study a modality that helps you connect with Mother Earth and Father Sky, so that you are like plugged in. I love Abraham Hicks. Oh my God, I can talk forever about Abraham Hicks. And one time they made the analogy, maybe it kind of ties in, maybe not, about a vacuum, right? Or like a toaster, right? Like you can push the thing down on the toaster, or you can move around the vacuum that it's not plugged in. And you can say, well, I pushed the button, or I moved the vacuum, but you didn't really accomplish anything. At the end of the day, you did all this work and you're feeling exhausted, and you're like, well, nothing got done, And I think I might be going off topic, but bear with me. This is what's the story that's coming in. So Abraham makes the comment that when you plug it into the energy source, the outlet, right, all of a sudden the job is so much easier. All of a sudden you can go for hours, right? That vacuum can go for hours and not be depleted. It may overheat because it's an appliance, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. It's this idea that we need to have a way to recognize the connection and really make a conscious intention, a conscious awareness is a good word, a conscious awareness that we are connected to Source and Mother Earth energy. And from that energy is where the healing is happening, right? Now, I do want to make a side note, because I know that the terminology I'm using here, I can, in my head, feel like I'm contradicting a little bit. So I want to make a side note that I also believe that we are never disconnected. This is another thing I learned. It's not that we're disconnected from Mother Earth energy. It's not that we're disconnected from source energy. We are always connected. It's just that we forget. And so if we don't have a conscious awareness that I am always connected to infinite intelligence or unconditional love, I'm always connected to Mother Earth's nurturing and grounding energy. If I don't have that conscious awareness, I'll go about my day forgetting that I am connected, and then thinking that I have to put out my energy to get my tasks done, right? So again, it's just that pivot in perception, right? So that's what I would suggest for those of you who want to work with this energy and are feeling depleted at the end of the days. Study a modality that helps you get grounded and connected, and shift that perspective and realize that you are not the healer. You're not meant to use your energy. that you are just a vessel. And when you bring that conscious awareness, you can then channel that energy in and out. Okay. And again, there's very variety of modalities. I'm giving you just like a quick little snippet of it. Now, when it comes to not taking on other people's energies, hold on, I want another sip of cacao. This is another reason why I suggest studying a modality that teaches you different techniques and tools. And again, this can be for personal use, just because you happen to be someone who's really connected to this vibration, or with clients. But there are different techniques where you can do a cutting of cords, or a cutting of energy, or returning of energies from you to the other individual, right? So going back to the modality that I studied, it taught me about 2 or 3 different visualizations and energy things that I could do. Because when I work with a client, I do connect with that client. I ask for permission, but I do energetically come into a client's space, and this also happens when I'm hanging out with friends. I don't like go into their space, but you can't help but like your energy start mixing together, right? And especially if you have a partner and so forth, and have children and people that you're constantly around with, so we are always sharing each other's, or getting into each other's space, whether we consciously or not consciously intend to. I'm sorry. So when I work with the client, I am intentionally going into their space, right? And when I'm done working with a client, it's very important that I implement clearing tools and detaching tools, so that I don't feel like I'm taking their energy with me, right? So there are some techniques, like one that I learned from a friend is in our room where we do the sessions. There's a bowl of water, and as we're doing the session, throughout the session, I'm like throwing the energy into the bowl of water. When I'm done with the session with the client, I'm visualizing my energy detaching from them, and then in my mind, I do this little technique where I'm washing and cleansing my energy and their energy, and then I'm returning their energy to them and keeping my energy to myself, right? I am a big proponent of Palo Santo. I love it. It's one of my favorite smells in the entire world. So that's why I think it's very important to study or to work with a mentor or a coach that can teach you some of these techniques, and then to see which resonate with you, and then how you can add them to your daily life, right? I think it's just as important. Another thing that I do is before I leave the house, we brush our hairs, we brush our teeth, we get dressed, we put on our shoes, we grab our keys, we'll leave the house. Well, I even go a step further to invoke some of I have certain guides and like the Palo Santo that I use before I even leave the house. So I'm really setting that intention, that reminder to my mind that I'm connected to Mother Earth, I'm connected to Father Sky, and that I'm how do I explain it? It's almost like I'm setting this intention that it's not that I'm protecting myself against the world. It's like this healthy boundary that I am consciously putting around me, so that as I interact with others, that things can more easily bounce off of me. Or if I interact with someone, that I can be present, fully present and open with them, but I'm also not taking anything on. So it's like energetic, conscious boundaries. I don't know if I made that up, but that's what I would refer them to. And I think they're just as important as, the things that we do to get ready to leave for the day. And then when I come back home, I also have a tiny little ritual. Most of the time, it's just like a mental affirmation, or again with the Palo Santo or something that I do, just so that I'm cleaning my energy and taking off my shoes. So it doesn't have to be anything very heavy or very complicated. It can be very simple, but it is important to become aware of those things and then decide which of those things you are going to implement, so that you feel more comfortable embracing and living from this energy space, which is beautiful to have psychic and empath and other skills. These sensitivities are beautiful. They're a part of who we are. We are both human and we are divine. And if you have the fortune, to be able to be connected to these energies, or to be able to see the world and feel the world in these ways, there's tools that you can use so that you feel more comfortable. I didn't always feel comfortable. I've shared in another video that up until a few years ago, I suffered from pretty heavy social anxiety. I covered it and I masked it really well, but every time I went somewhere, it was a daunting task for me. And it wasn't until I started learning some of these tools and consciously making an effort to realize that it's something important. It's, again, those energetic, healthy boundaries, energetic boundaries, or whatever I said. I realized how important they were, because I didn't want to get rid of my gifts. Now, it's not that you can get rid of them, but you can shift your vibration if you don't want to interact with them as much. But then I feel that this topic can go into another direction, but then I feel that you personally are missing out on being able to experience the fullness of who you are. It's not for anybody else. But if you are a certain way and you are able to interact and feel the world around you in a way that a lot of others can't, you deserve to be able to have harmony and balance in that, so that you can feel the fullness of who you are and you can express the fullness of who you are, regardless in the situation that you are in. So that's my advice for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And as usual, you guys can leave comments below, questions or suggestions for future topics. Feel free to also visit my website. I'm about to launch a new monthly coaching thing, which I'm really, really excited about. And I'll share with you guys more later on a different episode. But I'm so excited that this is going really well, and that I have an ability to share just things with you that come up. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow.